الحجاب يطير حرا مدركا نسمو كماله للكون وجه النار.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and welcome back to my channel. So I know I've been gone for so long from my channel, but I am back. I am happy to be back in here. Life was lifing and I had some obstacles in my way, but alhamdulillah, I am here with another video. And on today's video, I'll be talking about lifestyle changes I made since I became Muslim. Some of these changes I knew that I was going to do when I became Muslim, and some of them I learned along the way, and especially after having a mentor who helped me in the beginning stages of when I became Muslim, who still helps me to this day. I love her so much. But these are things that I did and changes that I made. Now, with that being said, these are changes that I made for myself. You may see other Muslims who don't do this, and that is on them and that is on their journey. But for me, I am doing this to help me with my journey and how I view myself as a Muslim. So I have my notes on my phone, so let's go through it. So the first thing that I knew that I wanted to do when I became Muslim was to wear the hijab and dress more modestly. Like, I knew that from my research. I said, you know what? I want to do that. I want to wear the hijab. I want to wear more, dress more modestly. And in the Quran, they have there's like a verses about women veiling themselves, which basically is like the hijab, and to dress modestly for both men and women. So I knew that I wanted to do that with myself. Now, if you saw my like story to Islam and how like I did my shahada, shahada is a thing that you do when you convert to Islam. It's something that you say and it's a process. So I didn't know I was doing it that day. So I was not prepared with clothing, with anything. It just happened. That's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted for me. And I only had 2 hijabs. So right after my shahada, I was like, oh my goodness, I need to rush to the store and get some hijabs. So I bought some more there. And when it came to modest clothing, I didn't really have like the kind of Muslim modest clothing like in my closet. So I kind of like wore long t-shirts and like sweaters and stuff like that, long sweaters in the background. It's in the background with my clothes. So that could be considered more modest. And eventually I started to order clothes. I'm going to be honest, I ordered them from Shein because Shein is cheaper, and I was learning like what type of style I wanted for me and what type of like modest wear would be best for me. But I stopped ordering from Shein because I was like, you know what? I am ordering from this place that's fast fashion. I'm pretty sure like the quality of the clothes was not that good. And as we know that there are been reports that some of the Uyghur Muslims that have been treated really badly in China are the ones who work in Shein. And then we all know about how horrible the fast fashion industry is. But it did help me figure out what type of clothing that I like and what type of modest clothing that I know fits my body type. Because as we all know, some of these sites that sell Islamic clothing, they are only have skinny models represent their clothes, and just looking at me, I am not skinny, and I don't have like a straight and like kind of flat body shape. I do not. So those are the people on the clothes. So I'm like, okay, but how does that gonna look on my body type? And like, I'm not used to wearing like these type of clothing. You know, that wasn't really part of my lifestyle. So learning all those stuff, and I incorporated it to my lifestyle, and I figured out what works best for me. And when it comes to the hijab, the fabric that I like, I do like the jersey hijabs and the crinkled one and the chiffon, the silk one. I like those sometimes, but I prefer the jersey and the crinkled one over the chiffon ones. The chiffon ones are like the ones you wear when you want to look more fancy, I guess, but that's just me, what I like personally. And the type of hijab styles that I do the ones that cover your neck. That's the style that I wear. I will never get, like, I saw Muslim women who showed their neck, and I was like, oh, that is okay, and what so and so. But then my mentor was like, you're not supposed to be showing your neck. And she gave me the reasons why. So since then, I have not been showing my neck. I just wear the hijabs that cover my neck, and that is the ones that I prefer. Some other people may not do that, but that is what I want to do. A next thing that I knew that I was going to give up was drinking. So from my culture of where my parents are from, I'm going to do a whole video about my like ethnicity tag and ancestry results, so you will figure out where they're from. Where my parents are from, drinking is a big part of their culture, and a lot of people are like shocked that I gave up drinking, and I went cold turkey. Like I said, I didn't know that I was doing my shahada that day, and I was like, you know what, since then, boom, I have not drank anything. SubhanAllah. Like, that was what I knew I was going to do. I said, you know what, I'm not that attached to alcohol as some people may be. So it was something that I could easily give up. And a lot of people ask me, do I miss it? And I can't really say I miss it. The only thing that, like, the only type of alcohol that I would drink the most compared to, like, when I was in college and all stuff, but, like, what, after I, like, grew up, was wine. So, but I see that there's, like, non-alcoholic, non-alcoholic versions of wine, or that you can go and get, like, one of the things I get from Trader Joe's is sparkling apple juice. And I drink that and I am fine. So that is what I go get. The next thing that I knew that I wanted to incorporate in my lifestyle was only eating halal products and eating halal meat. So before becoming Muslim, halal meat was something that I had in my diet already. I had like halal meat and non-halal meat in my fridge. So when I did my shahada, unexpectedly, I still had non-halal meat. I said, you know what, I'm going to finish all these products except the ones that contain pork. And I am going to, once these finish, I am going to start only eating halal from there on out, and that is what I do. I want to eat halal meat. So halal meat, a lot of people don't know what that means, which I was very surprised that a lot of people weren't familiar with halal. So the way the animal is, like the criteria of the animal you have to kill is different than like regular meat slaughtering companies. You have to kill it and have it face Mecca. You have to say a certain part of the Quran, like I think you have to say Bismillah or something else. I can't remember exactly what had to be said. Like the whole process is different, and they have to like drain all the blood and stuff like that. It's just way better, high quality meat than what you get from the regular grocery store. And also that includes no pork, no poppy seeds, and like other things like wine and food. Like you can't eat food that contains wine. And even though some people do, it depends on like the school of thought that you follow. And the one thing that almost broke me was that you cannot use nutmeg. I was like, I can't use nutmeg? Do they not know that where my parents are from is the 4th producer of nutmeg in the world? We have a nutmeg on our flag. Like, here's a picture of the flag. That thing in the middle that people usually think is a flame, that is nutmeg. And then they say you can't have it because it's an intoxicant. And then I researched it, and there are people out here getting high off of nutmeg. Did y'all know that? Because I did not. I was like, nutmeg? Y'all getting high off of nutmeg? Does your parents know? Like, what is going on here? But that was really hard for me. That is like the thing that almost broke me. Like, honestly, it wasn't drinking. It wasn't this. It was like the nutmeg. Because my favorite ice cream flavor is nutmeg ice cream. Like, when I go to Grenada, I get nutmeg and soursop. Oop! I gave it away where my parents are from. I'm not going to say it again. If you catched it, you caught it. But yes, when I go there, I have nutmeg and soursop ice cream. Like, those are my go-to combination. And then I will get nutmeg by itself. But, yep, that is that. So the next thing that I changed was hookah and cigars. So a lot of people see, like, hookah associated with the Middle East and so forth. But in Islam, you're not supposed to smoke anything or do any of that. So I did a hookah before. It wasn't something that I really did. But I did it before, and it was part of like college where people have like little hookah and you get like the strawberry flavor. So I gave that up. And cigars, since I went to Miami in 2019, I tried like cigars, and I would get them like around my birthday. And like I would mostly give them away, but I would have some. So I was like, okay, I can't do this around my birthday or anything. So gave up cigars. Next thing that I gave up was going to bars and clubs. So in my culture, going out to party, going out to hang out, going out, that's like part of our culture. That's like a big thing that is involved in my culture. And I stopped doing that. And honestly, I don't really miss it, I can say. The vibes were fun, like hanging out with your friends and stuff. But I can make memories with my friends and have fun that's outside of the bar and outside of clubs, if you get what I mean. So since then, and like I did my shahada. So since I don't know, my camera keeps overheating. So since my shahada, I have not gone to bars or any of that, and I don't miss it. And like I said, I gave that up. Like I said, I didn't know that I was going to do my shahada that day. But once I did it, I was like, oh, this is done. Now, next thing that may surprise people is there's certain beauty stuff that you can't do. So you must leave yourself the way that you are, like means no plastic surgery, no enhancements, nothing, unless you have an abnormality. So like let's say you have like a random like hump on your nose, like some people do, that is like could be like abnormal or something, you can get that removed. If you have like a unibrow, you can get that removed or something like that. Like if you have a cleft lip, obviously you can get that fixed and so forth. But when it comes to like lip fillers, Botox, and all that stuff, those things are not allowed in Islam. And you cannot wear fake nails or nail polish because we have a process called wudu, and you have to do wudu before you pray. And if you wear nail polish or fake nails, the water part of where you wash your hands for wudu has to touch your nail. So if it's not touching your nail, your wudu is invalid. So that's why you cannot wear nail polish and nails, because you're not in the state of wudu. So when you go to pray, you're not praying in the state of wudu, and your prayer is not valid. So that is that. And that also ties into makeup. The same with makeup. If you're going to do wudu, you have to wash your face. If you have makeup, the makeup can prevent your face from like your actual face from getting wet. The water can just probably sit on top of your makeup. So if you are okay with like wiping some of your makeup off, or like getting like your makeup all smudged and stuff in the process of wudu, or taking off when you're doing wudu, that is fine. But if you are like not washing your face because you have makeup on, or like only washing this part and not really getting in there, that makes your wudu invalid. So I used to be a makeup girly. I used to love makeup, and I hardly wear makeup anymore, only for like special occasions that I do. So that is something that I gave up once I became Muslim. And that surprised me because before I became Muslim, I used to watch a lot of Muslim content creators, Muslim women, and they would showcase like beauty products and like makeup and all that stuff, and I thought that those things were okay. But until I went on to learn more about Islam, I was like, oh, well, we're not really supposed to be doing these things. And it changed my view of how I view things. Some women, they like that who are Muslim, but for me, I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this and this. So that includes not fake lashes you're not supposed to use, and all those other stuff. And another thing that I gave up that I wasn't really doing, but I did like a few times, was gambling. Like going to the casino was not my thing. I went once and I lost $3, and I was like, you know what? This is not for me, this lifestyle. But gambling also includes doing the lottery, like scratch offs, I think raffles and bingo. That's like another thing too. And one of the biggest lifestyle changes that I have is being more mindful of the stuff I consume, like what I read, what I watch, what I listen to, who I'm around, and stuff like that. Because I have a clear path on how I view my life and how I want to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So if these things are interfering or changing my view of that, I don't want those things around me. And I feel like everybody should do that once you're evolving in life. Rethink the music you listen to. If you listen to music, I know some people believe music is haram, but everybody's on their own journey and so forth. When it comes to TV, what TV shows are you watching? How is that influencing you? When you're reading, what are you reading? How does that influence you, and so forth? Like, a lot of these things influence you, and you could be secretly influencing and you don't know. So I became more mindful of all those things since I became Muslim, and I'm on like this interesting journey with stuff. It's like so interesting, but I'm very mindful of what I watch and what I consume. Even the content that I watched before I became Muslim, when it came to like Muslim creators, and the Muslim creators that I watch now is completely different. And I like the ones that I watch now better, more than the ones that I watched before. And that's just like me on my journey. So yeah, these are just some of the lifestyle changes I made since I became Muslim. So I hope you learned something new. I hope that these like lifestyle changes make you think about other changes that you can make in your life if you're thinking about making some lifestyle changes. But yeah, these are some that I made since I became Muslim. So I hope you enjoyed. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Wait, before I finish, so there is going to be a new schedule when it comes to me when I upload content. So what I'm planning to do a YouTube video, then a podcast, YouTube video, and podcast. So please look out for that schedule. I have a podcast by the same name, and you can also follow me on Instagram. I do plan to post there more, inshallah, so you can find me there. So all right, now it's official. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
أنا صنعة أو أوجدتها يا بريء وملكت فيها معصم الإيمان للحق والعدل التوحيد